tell you what the heck do I get myself into when it comes to this wonderful hobby? You know what I mean? But it's got to be done. Every 2 to 3 years, when the collection starts to back up. I'm praying to the Almighty that I have enough Dawn dish soap and enough elbow grease and enough sponges and a brush or two. That's not going to be too rough, you know. Man, that's a crap load of dishes. They got to be clean about every 2 to 3 years when it starts to back up, man. How do I explain myself? I mean, it's that time. It's that time. I got to do the job. But not take off too much, you know. Not be too rough with them. But they got to be clean right. They deserve to be clean. Once again. Man, but how long is this going to take me, guys? Ladies and gentlemen. Boy. I know you just crap your drawers. I'm surprised the shelves in the cabinet didn't fall down because of the weight of the history within every last piece of these things. That's quite the collection. I'd say between about 2 to 3 years. Picking up the broken shards, praying for the fully intact ones. But to be honest with you, every little shard, large or small, is intact in its own right. You know? Man, look at that smooth interior. Feel what the natives have done. A long time ago. Waiting to be recovered from surface collecting. But no digging. We all know where the fully intact ones are. They are in the ground and they are in museums. Hopefully one day, some of my collection will end up in museums, you know? If I can find the time to take it out to bury it all. So it can be found again, you know? Ain't nothing like leaving things behind. Because you can't take it with you when you leave another life behind. Hey, that rhymed kinda. Just a repeat. Man. Oh, look, we got a soapstone shard right here. I remember when I found this. I remember when I found every last piece. Man, I wonder what 2024 and beyond is going to hold for us when it comes to this right here in this hobby. Of collecting the clay materials. Sand grip materials. Sand tempered. What kind of designs that we're going to discover that have never been seen. Or haven't been seen or recognized in hundreds or even thousands of years. Man. What are they going to allow us to collect? Coming up pretty soon, you know. But we got to close out 2023 first before we can look to the future. A lot of great items in this. I wonder if we're going to find some Templar symbols. I got to get the wash and the dishes first. We might find something major. But they have to be categorized, whatever you say, Can't say that when my sinuses is cold in here. Categorized. Got to put them in stacks. Which ones have, the company logos, the designs on them? Which ones match one another? Time periods, whatever. Which ones might hold some truth? And what we're always looking for. Many times I've said before, going out there, I wonder if I have hit my limit when it comes to this collection. It's always nice to find these pieces though, but we're never going to find them fully intact. We're just finding the pieces that we're allowed to find, the ones that had been specifically left in the creeks. And that's the only place that we find these things, in the creeks, with the history kept deep inside of them, just screaming to us. Please come by to collect this so we can be known again, be recognized again. There's a pattern that hasn't been seen in hundreds of years. This one even looks like an arrowhead. Look at that. Study model. Man. But for the longest time, when I kept coming across these legs to these bottoms of these bowls and pots, whatever it is, I always thought it was something else. I always thought it was like the front of like a figurine, if you know what I mean. A front of a lady figurine. That's kind of pointy though. They got the 1960s style going on. What were they wearing? No, but for real though, this is just a leg to a pot. Leg to a bowl. Leg to something else possibly. We know what that is. That's a leg. It's not, but it could be. It still could be. I'm still waiting. I don't know how much more I can wait, how much longer I can wait. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Am I waiting for that one thing that I've been looking for? The truth in all this. Maybe one symbol in particular, maybe a few. But I do know this, for real. Whatever they saw back then, during a particular event, a particular time period, I know that they recorded it. We just have to find the missing pieces, the missing link. It's out there somewhere, that one bit of truth that we're looking for. And praying that we're going to find. Not saying that is, ooh, look, they're already washing it. Not that they're, I'm saying that I'm trying to cut corners, by taking the easy way out to try to find it. This is just a more adventurous way to find it. A more interesting way. A more historic way. To feel it, to touch it, to see it. For what it is. And that's a hidden truth. Still yet to find it though. But I'm always going to be looking for it. I'm just working backwards in this hobby. But I heard something. They'll probably tell me to get to work. I don't know how long this is going to take when it comes to cleaning up this stuff right here. Give it a cool little brush. Up and down and all around to get off the loose soils Not scrub too hard. Don't want to take off too much. Once you start getting down to the black, you got to hold back. Well, because that means you're getting down to the silt, the dust of the past. I mean, like the smoke, the ash, the ancient ash that we always come across. There's a few pieces in this right here that still have the burn within it, because they were always lighting up. Man. To keep themselves warm and so they can cook and stuff like that. But we're going to find some major things coming up soon. I can feel it already. Beautiful. Gotta get to cleaning though. It's going to take a while. I got to clean that first before I can start on their dishes. They deserve to be cleaned again. They do, like they were in the past. And they know for a fact I'm that one human being that loves to do what? That is to clean. When are the ladies going to start knocking at my door after I say something like that? Ain't that right, Santa? Merry Christmas coming up. Man, would you look at that stash of beautiful pottery. A different kind of trash. Their own trash. Old enough to be recovered. Oh boy. What an adventure yesterday. Well, it's a good weekend to stay in. Because of the weather. It's up to like 69 right now. But it's been raining all weekend. So I decided to do something I've been trying to do for the past, I'd say 6 to 8 months. Clean the last 2.5 years worth of pottery collections. Lightly, that is. With a light brush. And I'm not even done. Man. 12 hours straight yesterday. Non-stop. With a particular hand motion. Something I joked about many times in my videos. And I didn't know it was going to come down to this. Nearly 13 hours non-stop of wearing this thing down to a nub. Another joke that I've always said in a lot of my videos. The dang shake weight. This motion right here. That shake weight commercial they do in this thing right here. Used to crack jokes about that all the time within the past couple of years. Didn't know how literal they were going to make it though. First started off like this. The first 6 hours. Non-stop. Then having to switch this thing around to the backside. And hold it like this. The next 6 hours. Non-stop scrubbing. I don't think my wrist or my right arm has been this sore. Don't you say a word. Look at those blisters on the end of the fingers. The knuckles. From holding the brush so many hours. So stiff I can barely even close the hands. Both of them. Boy, quite the collection. Got them as clean as I could. Didn't have to or didn't want to scrub too hard, Just get off the light dust, the soil that has seeped in from all those years. Left a little bit behind. I know you're going to say they still look a little bit dirty, but that's okay. They're not meant to be cleaned perfectly, Just enough to get the point across. Washing the dishes. Over 2,000 yesterday. Seems like I'm the only human being in the entire world to sit down for 13 hours scrubbing over 2,000 pieces of immaculate history. And I'm paying for it today, for real. Not totally done with it, though. This is all I got left. I couldn't take too much of the shake weight motion after about 11 o'clock last night. 12 midnight. Had to give it up. Even though I was trying to force myself to get that thing done entirely last night. And I failed at it. You're looking at probably about another hour right here. The smaller pieces are much harder to clean than the large pieces, because they cover less of the hand. Look at those red marks on these fingers, guys. Look at that. So raw that it hurts. I excuse my senses, I practically scrubbed off my own fingerprints, a couple of layers of skin on these 3 fingers right here. Smooth as a piece of glass, man. What do I do to myself? Well, it was a perfect weekend to do this thing anyway, like I said earlier. You're going to say, tell us about the designs. Well, these are the tops, that's it. Tops of bowls, tops of their dishes. Still kind of wet from last night. Yesterday. These are the legs, bottoms of bowls. Oddities right here, things that ended up being rocks when I thought it was pottery. Pieces of crock, not Native American, not ancient. Some of the time you can't tell until you clean it off, right? Check design. The most standard design that we ever find is always the check design, the fabric design, and then the immaculate designs. I'm not going to call them super rare. There's just a lot here that are very nice, very geometric, even futuristic if you think about it. Imagine finding this thing fully intact. That would have been quite the futuristic find. For real, though. Man, when is that day coming? Yeah, I got some oddities right here. Don't know what the heck this is. Some kid or something like that made some kind of, whatever that thing is, out of clay soils. This has got a deep impression in it, deep nail impression. That's why I put it to the side, right there. Very cool. And then you got this little finger pointer piece of broken pottery right here. And these things right here. This one looked like it might have been painted. I'm not sure. There's 3 different tones right here. Probably that's all it is, just clay soils that are 3 different tones. But this one right here, this one's got some kind of entity on it. I don't know what it is, though. You can only see it when it's wet. But I noticed it when I was washing it off, scrubbing it. Something was standing out that I've never seen before. And you can only see it when it's wet. It's the weird thing about this, though. A lot of these designs didn't really come out until I started cleaning them. They were covered up in years, decades, centuries of silt, embedded within the design to cover it up, so you didn't see it until you started scrubbing. Very light indeed. But I got big plans for the water. It doesn't deserve to be sent down to the sewer. So I'm going to take, a pitcher or something like that and take it out and put it into a gallon of water. But all the silt that I was hoping was going to settle to the bottom, which most of it probably has throughout the night last night, I was hoping it was going to be perfectly clear so I can just get out the water, But it is so saturated. You can't even see within an inch. That's the way I like it. Helps us know we did good at cleaning their dishes. Beautiful. Yeah, but I got big plans for this. A different kind of painting, I guess. A different kind of natural painting. Yeah. You'll see later on, I got to salvage the water and then put all the silt into another smaller container. Try to save it. Because it's not going down into the sewer. It's historic. You're looking at a different kind of holy water right here. Should have known that before. 2,000 pieces worth of silt in one single sink. Beautiful. Not bad. Got out most of the water. About as low as I can get it. 5 gallons right here of ancient silt. Could be well over 2,000 years old. Combining the centuries in 5 gallons of water. What a beautiful feeling. But here's my big plan for the water, though. You can't waste this kind of water when it has this kind of history in it. Some of it, I guess I'll have to figure out something. It's only, about a centimeter deep left over. Yeah. But those handprint discs that I make out of the cement. And I fill this thing up with water, tap water, to mix it up. Well, there's your answer right here. Use this water to mix in with cement. Historic water, that is. Ancient. Silt. To use to make the cement disc. Put my handprint. That kind of thing. Like all the other ones. Should have known that from the past. And then the silt that settled to the bottom will be used for, I guess, paintings and stuff. A different kind of abstract. Salvage what you can, for real. You don't know what you can use it for. Dang. Well, that's a lot of recovery right there when it comes to the paint. Boy. So all I had to do was just turn the gold ball just a little bit and give it a chance to leak down and not carry anything with it. Very nice collection. Looks like I never even did anything. But did we ever? Heck yeah, we did. That thing right there weighs about 75 pounds. What do you expect? It's all clay soil made into pottery. Heck yeah. Quite the accomplishment. It's about 4 o'clock Sunday. Day's already gone, sprinkling outside. Got flood alerts going on up until about 7 a.m. Monday. Probably even longer than that. But there was this one rock that I had up here. You know, just a rock stash. Stuff I thought was pottery. And there was one rock in here that snuck into the pile for some reason. But I just noticed something when I picked it up. Kind of looks like a side profile. Maybe that's the reason why I picked it up a long time ago in the creek. And I never noticed it. But maybe they were trying to get us to notice. That's quite the side profile. Might be legit. Great find. Great recovery. Gotta find a top for that one. Gotta get ready to make more handprints. More handprint discs. Put some personal things inside of them. Pictures, whatever. Yeah. Hopefully they'll survive as long as the Native American pottery always did and always will. What am I doing on this Sunday besides finishing up with the pottery? Packing up all the art stuff. It's 72 degrees today in this mid-February. I'm feeling the springtime come around. So it's got me in the mood, got us in the mood to get ready to get back out full time. Not saying I haven't been out full time this winter. I haven't. Just the last 3 weekends, not counting this one. It's going to start to rain really soon, next hour or so. Da Vinci pad is packed back up. Got to finish cleaning. Remove the marks. The geometries from the storage containers sitting here since the first week of November, last week of October. Still some things to pack up. Put it back up on the shelf. Because we got major things to recover the next 6 to 7 months.